All right. IELTS listening test. Deep dive time. You ready for this? We're going deep.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So you know this test. It's kind of a beast, right?
Oh, yeah.
A lot to handle. Not just like regular, can you understand English?
Right.
But like, can you understand English under pressure? Can you think fast? Can you like juggle all these different things they throw at you?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people go into this test thinking it's just, are you fluent in English?
Right, right,
And they don't realize how much strategy is involved.
right. It's like a whole skill set.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at today. And the source material. Some really interesting stuff here. Things that maybe aren't so obvious at first glance about how to really, really do well.
Definitely some kind of insider secrets, the things that you don't always think about.
Yeah, yeah. So let's jump right in, huh?
Let's do it.
Okay, so this kind of blew my mind when I first saw it. The listening test, it's the same for both academic and general training, right?
That's right. The content is identical.
Okay, so that simplifies things a little bit.
Yeah.
But then they throw a curveball. You've got paper-based, you've got computer-based.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really that big of a difference?
It actually can be a huge difference in terms of how you approach the test. Because if you're doing the paper-based version, you get 10 minutes at the end to transfer your answers. Plenty of time.
Okay.
But if you're doing computer-based, you only get 2 minutes
2 minutes.
at the end to check everything and make sure it's all transferred correctly.
Oh, wow.
So that amps up the pressure a lot.
That changes everything.
It really does. And that's where note-taking becomes your best friend. You've got to be super efficient with your notes.
Yeah.
No time for full sentences. You're talking keywords, abbreviations. Think of it like creating your own little code that you can decipher later.
Right, right. You're basically like building a cheat sheet on the fly.
Exactly. And those 2 minutes, that's just for transferring those answers.
Yeah, yeah.
Not for trying to figure out what your scribbles mean.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, the source also mentioned something about accents, that they throw in a variety of accents in the listening recording.
Yes.
I can see how that could be a real tripwire,
Yeah.
Especially if you're, let's say, used to mostly American or British English.
It's a challenge for sure. It's like thinking you're fluent in Spanish.
Yeah.
But then you get dropped in like rural Argentina.
Right.
And suddenly you're like, wait, what?
I don't understand anything anymore.
Exactly. So for the IELTS, getting exposed to a wide range of accents is essential. Podcasts can be fantastic for this.
Oh, yeah. Good tip.
Find ones with interviews, news from different countries, even fictional stories, but make sure they have a diverse cast.
Right.
That way, you're training your ear to be adaptable.
It's like cross-training for your ears.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay. Now, the source lists a whole bunch of challenges that people face with this test. Concentration,
Oh, yeah.
losing your place in the audio, word count limits, paraphrasing, and just general distractions.
Ugh, distraction.
So I got to ask, in your experience working with students, what's the one that trips people up the most?
I'd say paraphrasing is often the biggest hurdle. You see, the test rarely uses the exact same wording as the audio. What they're doing is testing your ability to understand the meaning
Okay.
and express it differently. I've seen students panic because they fixate on a specific word or phrase from the recording.
Right.
And then when the question uses synonyms or rephrases the concept, they get totally lost.
So it's not just about comprehension. It's about active, interpretation.
Exactly.
So how do you practice for that?
Think of it like a translation exercise, but within English itself. So try things like summarizing news articles,
Okay.
but in your own words, or explaining a podcast episode to a friend. Even paraphrasing instructions or recipes, these everyday things can actually help you build that mental flexibility.
Right. You're basically flexing those paraphrasing muscles all the time.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it. Now, another thing the source really hammered on was going beyond just passive listening practice, really understanding the different question types. Why is that so crucial?
Think of it this way. Imagine you walk into a gym
Okay.
and you just start doing random exercises.
Right.
Without a plan, no structure. Sure, you'll probably get some benefit from it.
Yeah, you'll break a sweat at least.
You'll get tired, but you're not going to maximize your results.
Right, right. You need a program.
Exactly. And it's the same with IELTS listening. Each question type, it has its own logic, its own traps. Multiple choice, you got to eliminate wrong answers quickly, sentence completion. Precision with grammar and vocab is key,
Yeah, yeah.
and so on. So what you need to do is go deeper than just, oh, I got this wrong.
Yeah.
You have to analyze why you got it wrong. Was it a misheard word? Did you misunderstand the instructions? Did you misinterpret the context?
So you're basically becoming a detective of
Yes,
your own mistakes.
exactly. A mistake detective. And
Yeah.
then arm yourself. Get those strategies for each question type. Learn how to predict possible answers, how to pick out keywords super fast, and the big one, how to avoid those common traps they set.
So it's not just about working hard, it's about working smart.
Precisely.
I love it. So for our listener out there, diving headfirst into IELTS prep,
Yeah.
aiming for that top score, what's the big takeaway from all this?
I think it's this. Strategic preparation is everything. Don't just burn yourself out on endless practice tests. Really break down those skills, work on your weak areas, and walk into that test with a toolbox full of techniques.
I love that. A toolbox, that's a great analogy. And remember, this isn't just a hoop you have to jump through. This test, it's assessing a valuable real-world skill.
Absolutely.
And like any skill, it could be honed, it could be mastered. Now, the source was really clear that you got to get comfy with all the question types. But for you, listening right now, which one makes you the most nervous? Which one you like, ugh, not that one?
Yeah.
That's your starting point. Make that your challenge. Turn that anxiety into fuel. Until next time, happy listening.
Happy listening.